Hello, everybody. Welcome to Youth Connect. I'm Aiden.
Hey, I'm Kevin.
Hi, I'm Joshua.
Hi, I'm Jeffrey.
And welcome to our Youth Connect. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Youth Connect. I hope you're excited for another amazing episode. Now, I'm just going to forewarn you, just to tell you in the future, do note that we will not be having Nibras today, and he unfortunately was unable to send us a video. But don't worry, I've got your butts, and I made sure that I got you entertainment news, but not just any entertainment news, some podcast news. But obviously, for those who don't know what Youth Connect is, News Connect is a news interest entertainment show that was created during the pandemic for the community, by the community. Everyone here loves sharing stories with you all and giving you such interesting news to think about and even look up about. Anyways, first things first, with Youth Connect, we always have to do my start with gaming news. As much as I like to talk about the video game of the week, I sadly cannot today because there's so much far more important news for you guys today. If you are a huge Nintendo Direct fan, you know that the newest Direct dropped about 3 days ago. And if you don't know what the heck happened during that Direct, a lot of people said that it wasn't that good. But let me tell you, it was one of the greatest Directs that we got. Do you want to know what kind of games they are if you didn't see it? Well, I have some games I have specifically with you for right here. And these games that I think out of all of the Direct were the most important. So first up, we have The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. The sequel to now The Breath of the Wild 2, now has an official name called Tears of the Kingdom. The game is much of a mystery, showing mostly a huge open world, which includes a higher range of climbable objects for Link to climb. But it is still a mystery, but mostly that it will all be revealed next year, hopefully. The Legend of Zelda, The Tears of the Kingdom launches, though, on Nintendo Switch on May 12th, 2023, which is next year. Not that far away. Next up, we got second news. Shigeru Miyamoto really likes Pikmin, guys, but that means that we are going to be getting a Pikmin 4. Absolutely love the game. The game was announced with a short teaser during the Nintendo Direct, which didn't feature any gameplay, but did include a new look at the new Pikmin level perspective for the action. Another one is Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe is coming very soon, overhauling the classic Wii game with new features like the mecha copy ability and more sub-games than the original version. It supports up to 4 players, both in the main game and in the sub-games. And everyone can play as a Kirby, because last time with the original, there was no way that somebody could be Kirby if somebody already chose him. And lastly, Octopath Traveler 2. We've been waiting for this game forever, specifically myself, and a lot of people just skipped over it. But Octopath Traveler 2 is going to be getting its second entry for February 24th, 2023. The game will feature 8 new protagonists in the world of Solistia as it enters a new era. Octopath Traveler 2 will also bring some new features, including varying paths for characters based on day and night cycles. Pretty interesting stuff. There is so much on this week's Direct. If you want to know more info or want to learn more about the other stuff, make sure to check out the Direct itself. It was on the YouTube page. Just do be warned, Square Enix dropped a content bomb, and you will be getting a lot of farming simulators. Anyways, though, next up is Kevin, and Kevin has with us some all-important news.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. You are tuned into Youth Connect with me, Kevin Aruja. But first, let's look at our headlines. Ontario will not get provincial holiday to mark death of the Queen. Ontario Hovercraft Company to launch 30 minutes transit from downtown Toronto to Niagara region. Baron Demkew appointed as Toronto's new chief of police. And Nike released U.S. World Cup jersey, some criticized as bland. Ontarians will not get a provincial holiday on Monday to mark the death of Queen Elizabeth II. Instead, September 19th will be declared a provincial day of mourning. The people of Ontario may observe a moment of silence at 1 o'clock p.m. on that day, the Premier's office stated in a statement. The Premier's office encouraged Ontarians to use the day to pay tribute to the extraordinary legacy the Queen leaves behind. The Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has said the day of the Queen's funeral will be marked as both a federal holiday and a national day of mourning. The holiday will apply to federal government employees but would not automatically cover federally regulated industries such as banks and post office. Residents could soon jet from downtown Toronto to St. Catharines, Ontario in just 30 minutes via a new rapid transit hovercraft. In an announcement issued Wednesday, Ontario Hoverlink says it's a final stage of approval for the project set to launch in summer 2023. Once completed, the vessels will depart from Ontario Place on Toronto's waterfront and arrive on a port dweller, which is St. Catharines, in just half an hour, a trip that usually takes 2 to 3 hours by car. The company plans to make up to 48 lakes crossings per day using two vessels, the Griffin BHT 130 and BHT 150 model hovercraft. Up to 180 passengers will be moved on board on each journey. Vehicles will not be permitted on the craft. The first kind in North America, the hovercraft vessels are weatherproof, the company says, and can travel over water, land, or ice. There will be no outdoor seating areas. Toronto will soon have a new chief of police. The Toronto Police Board announced Maron Demkiw, a 32 veteran of the force, will serve as city next year's police chief. He is currently TPS acting deputy chief of Specialized Operations Command. Police Chief James Romer, whose contract runs until the end of this year, will continue to helm Toronto Police until Demkiw begins his new role. Romer has served as Toronto Police Chief since the resignation of former police chief Mark Sanders in August 2020. He also held the role of Deputy Chief of Specialized Operations Command prior to becoming chief. And on sports news, Nike released the United States World Cup jerseys Thursday, including a mostly white design for matches, that was criticized in advance by a pair of American players and some fans. The home jerseys have red and blue stripes on each sleeve, somewhat similar to the stripes down each side of Americans' 2002 World Cup uniforms. More than 100 people signed a Change.org online petition for calling out for different designs. Donald Wine, a national board member of the American Outlaw Supporters Group, he said he will purchase one of the new jerseys, but hoped Nike and the U.S. Soccer Federation would take criticisms into account in future designs. Wine said fans prefer a more distinctive look the team could become known for, such as Croatia's adoption of a checkerboard pattern. And on weather, I wonder if you noticed how cold it was when you woke up yesterday. I did. But today and the weekend look great with a high of 24 degrees Celsius and a lows of 16 and 17 degrees, chances of shower on Sunday. From my holidays in India, I share with you interesting fact about the Chinese fishing nets and also the Kathakali dance, and I did not get to share with you about this Onam festival. Why? It's simply because Onam usually falls in September, and it was the Onam festival on September 8th. So guess what? My interesting fact for this week is the festival of Onam. Onam is a harvest festival that is observed by people of South India. The celebration commemorates the return of the mythical king Mahabali. He was a popular king and people had no suffering during his rule. Every year, the king visits his subjects to see if they are happy. He is thought to visit South India on the day of Onam. Homes are adorned with flower arrangements made at the entrance of the house. So, and make sure you take a look at the picture behind me. You can see the woman in their dress in the traditional attire of white with a border of gold. Homes are sorry. Another highlight is the snake boat race, where teams of 100 men compete in traditional Kerala war canoes in a race along the backwaters of Kerala. I have always wanted to witness this, but I never could. But the most important part of this festival is the Onam Sadhya, a grand feast of 21 dishes that is served on banana leaves. Everything from a pickle to the papadam is lovingly shared amongst family, and the meal usually ends with a big serving of sweet, delicious payasam. That is all vegetarian. The festival of Onam is incomplete without gift. Silver coins, gold jewelry, clothing, household appliances, gadgets, and other items are among the most common gifts exchanged throughout these festivities. Anyways, though, we come to the end of my segment. Tune in next week for another segment of news, weather, and of course, the interesting fact. And now over to Aiden's gaming news.
Thank you so much, Kevin, for all that you do. I gotta say, out of everything that you've talked about, the Onam Festival, I gotta say the most interesting news, in my honest opinion, is with Nike. I gotta say, repeating the same design is not a really good creative premise. And you know what? If I had the choice, I would definitely give some Nike some ideas. In rather fact, maybe I will. Gonna have to keep that into consideration. But what about you, Joshua, and you, Jeffrey? What did you think about Kevin's news?
Oh, it was all interesting. Very interesting fact.
What about you, Joshua?
I like it.
I definitely agree. Thank you so much, Kevin, for the news that you
You're
shared.
welcome.
Anyways, I'm moving on to the second gaming news. Very interesting factor. If you guys know Apple's iOS, Apple recently changed their operating system update for the brand new iOS 16, and that introduces a range of new features like fancier lock screens and message editing. My goodness, I cannot tell you the amount of times that I have had the need to change a message. Thank goodness they added this. But in iOS 16, tapping three fingers at once on the screen brings up a copy and paste menu, while swiping with three fingers is how you undo and redo text input. That's very handy if you're using your iPhone to type, but it's not ideal if you're in the middle of trying to match your fingers to some hectic beats. Apparently, in some new statements and tweets, players of games, mostly considering in the rhythm genre like Archaea, have found that anytime they go to use three fingers at once, which is pretty common on harder tasks, excuse me, on harder tracks, like for example doing game. Have you ever guys played the piano tiles game where you need to do multiple fingers? Well, if you do three tiles in this game called Archaea, apparently it triggers various system functions and interrupts the gameplay. That's absolutely such a bummer. Now, if you guys know, when iOS 13 released, three finger taps and gestures started messing with games like Fortnite and PUBG. Hopefully, I really do hope, because do note, guys, there's a lot of rhythm games on the iOS App Store. So I really hope that iOS fixed this bug real quick. And you know what? I haven't heard of this game Archaea. I don't really play the kind of games that require you to do like Guitar Hero kind of like note kind of aspect of it. But you know what? I hate to see how a game creator's creation gets slightly interrupted and slightly buggy due to the factor of an iOS update. So I really hope that Apple fixes it very soon. Anyways, though, next up is Joshua, and Joshua has with us some good story news and, of course, your favorite animal news.
Good afternoon. Welcome to You Connect now for a good news story. Man tracks down teen who mugged his nephew to see if he would turn his life around. A man tracked down the teen knife man who mugged his nephew rather than hand him in, spoke to him about turning his life around. After listening to the youth story of remorse, Winston Davis has been overwhelmed with job offers for the lad to keep him away from a life of crime. It took Davis 6 weeks to track down the 16-year-old frightened boy who had mugged his own 12-year-old nephew on his way to buy a chocolate bar. Davis went to the scene of the mugging after confirming the police were going to do very little. He was expecting to find an adult. Davis searched CCTV and doorbell camera footage near near where the event took place and spoke to the people in the area. At this point, he bumped into a kid who matched one of these pictures he had been given, only to realize he was just a boy. They arranged to meet so that the teen could bag the handbag he had stolen, but it was then Davis discovered the young man had no parents, no job, or no education. Remarkably young against these odds, the young man still wanted to be a computer engineer. Their conversation was filmed and has now gone viral. Davis, who is also a charity worker, had called out for support and opportunities from his followers. He received a huge response and says, it's been amazing to receive loads of offers of apprenticeship, training, money, and mentoring. Davis sometimes Davis said sometimes children are so traumatized from what they've been through as young children. That's really hard for them to have any connection or belief that they can do anything other than what they've been exposed to at such a young age. I can see in this young man that there's something in him that wants to go on and do good. It's it's just, can he see far enough into the future to be able to take advantage of the good nature and goodwill of so many people? We're writing them off because they do things they shouldn't do at such a young age. Let's try to intervene with them. Let's try to help them make changes and help them take a different path, because that helps us as a society. Now for another good news story. A 16-year-old British boy is nearing the final leg of his 5-month adventure to become the youngest person to fly around the world solo. Mac Rutherford set off on the daredevil mission from an airbase in Bulgaria in March. If successful, he will become the youngest person to circumnavigate the world solo in an aircraft. His sister, Zara Rutherford, 19, became the youngest woman to fly around the world solo when she finished a similar mission earlier this year and still holds the title. Throughout his trip, Mac has faced sandstorms in Sudan, in Dubai's extreme heat, airport closures in India, and electrical failures affecting his aircraft fuel system. Mac, who qualified for his pilot license in September 2020, has a dual British Belgian nationality, who was born in a family of aviators. His father, Sam, is a professional ferry pilot. His mother, Beatrice, is a private pilot, and his sister, Zara, as mentioned earlier, is also a pilot. Mac became the youngest pilot in the world, age 15 years and 2 months. I have been fortunate to have had a family that has been able to help me progress in my flying, said Mac. But no matter what background you have, I believe it is never too early to work towards your dream. And you shouldn't limit yourselves by other expectations. Now turning to animal interest news. Monkey calls 911 from cell phone, sending deputies to California Zoo. Cops usually have a suspect. Cops usually have a prime suspect. In this case, it's a primate suspect. In California, the San Luis Obispo County Sheriff's Office believes it was the little capuchin monkey that called 911 from a zoo Saturday night. The call disconnected, and dispatchers tried to call and text back, but there was no response. So deputies were sent to investigate. The office said in a social media post, the address turned out to be sent to Zoo to You, an animal conser- conservation ambassador providing a permanent loving home for displaced, abused, abandoned, or permanently injured wild and exotic animals. However, the deputies found that no one there made the call. They finally figured out that a capuchin monkey named Ralph had apparently picked up the zoo's cell phone, which was in a golf cart that used to move around the property. We're told capuchin monkeys are very inquisitive and curious. They will grab anything and everything and just start pushing buttons, the sheriff office social media post said. This is Joshua Show reporting for UConnect. That's it for me. Now I'll send it back to you, Aiden.
Thank you so much, Joshua. I gotta say, out of all of the news, the first one shocked me quite a bit. I can't believe a man went all that way to track someone down. But on the more positive note, I gotta say, that is a little sneaky monkey. You know what? Monkeys are known to be very, very mischievous. Have you ever heard the story of the great Monkey King? The most mischievous demigod of them all. And you know what? A 16-year-old that's able to pilot around the world, that's quite a huge accomplishment for such a young age. You know what?
Wow.
There are some great entrepreneurs in our great blue marble that we call Earth. And you know what, guys? I got to say for you, Jeffrey, and you, Josh, and you, Kevin, what did you think about Joshua's news?
What a clever monkey.
Huh?
What a clever monkey.
I know. Very, very smart monkey. Smart thinking monkey.
Yeah, the monkey was just so cute. That was my favorite as well.
I mean, it is a cute monkey, but it caused a lot of trouble. Thank you so much, Joshua. Okay, guys, moving on to the third gaming news. Do be warned, it's ready for the board game of the week, similar to the video game of the week, but now it's a board game. And today's board game of the week is called Flamecraft. What the heck is Flamecraft? Well, in Flamecraft, artisan dragons, the smaller and magically talented versions of their larger and more destructive cousins, are sought by shopkeepers so that they may delight customers with their flamecraft. You right there are a flame keeper, skilled in the art of conversing with dragons, placing them in their ideal home and using enchantments to entice them to produce wondrous things. Your reputation will grow as you aid the dragons and shopkeepers, and the flamekeeper with the most reputation will be known as the master of flamecraft. Now, this isn't Minecraft, but with flames. Do note it is an entirely separate game. But basically, in the aspect of it, 1 to 5 players are going to be taking on the role of flame keepers, gathering items, placing dragons, and casting enchantments to enhance the shops of the town. Dragons are specialized, and the flamekeepers know which shops are the best home for each. Visit a shop to gain items and favors from one of the dragons there. Gathered items can be used to enchant a shop, gaining reputation and the favors of all the dragons in the shop. If you are fortunate enough, you will be able to attract fancy dragons that you will have opportunities to secure even more reputation. It's a great game. It is quite interesting. I like how it's a premise that these are like smaller variations that are more creative compared to their big comparisons that just breathe fire and destroy towns. These ones create magic shows and somewhat like that. I hope that you check out Flamecraft. It looks like an amazing board game. And before I move on, usually we have Nibras, but guess what? He's not here today. So I will bring you your one entertainment news or podcast news. You know which one I chose for you guys? I know that you love podcast news, so I got you a podcast right here. So are you ready for this podcast? I don't think you're ready. So have you ever heard of the great podcast Radio Lab? I gotta say, Radio Lab is one of a curiosity bender. They ask deep questions and use investigative journalism to get the answers. A given episode might whirl you through science, legal history, and into the home of someone halfway across the world. The show is known for its innovative sound design, smashing information into music, and it is hosted by Lulu Miller and Latif Nasser. If you guys want to know where you can find Radio Lab is available on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also check your local station for air times because it's also available via the CBC, ABC, and the BBC. It's a really good podcast. It really gets your brain thinking, and you'll learn a lot from the podcast. Who doesn't love a podcast that you can learn about? Anyways, though, this has been my last gaming news and your podcast news. And next up, we have Jeffrey. Now, before I even get to Jeffrey, I want to do this. As we said last week, I want to give Jeffrey a bit of time because it takes a little bit longer for him to set up. You know, I hope you guys are excited for this. You're gonna get some awesome news. You got some awesome game news. You got awesome world news, some weather, some facts of the day. But you know what? It's always nice to end off the show with a nice, calming, soothing song from Jeffrey or a head banging beat from Jeffrey. I cannot wait to see what Jeffrey has in store for us. But, anyways, next up is Jeffrey, our live musician, with his live music.
Hi, everyone. This is Jeffrey, your live musician, coming to you from Youth Connect. And I'm going to be playing an original song. Now, keep your ears open. This song is very, very, very silly. But you know what? It's great to put laughter in music. So this is what this song is about. Anyway, this song is called I Have a Song. I have a song. Think you might like it. It really does rhyme. Rhyme a lot. Hope you're ready, because it's about to start. I had a fish named Jerry who was found on a ferry, and people said that it could fly, fly, fly. But when I tried, it bubbled and bubbled and it was all a lie, lie, lie. Jerry swam in the dam like he dipped in this world, and he jumped and he bumped, and he did the ground a fishy tail bump. Come on, Jerry, whoop, whoop, whoop. You are so new, whoop, whoop, whoop. You went for a dip, and then you did a flip, whoop, whoop, whoop. Alright, this is another one. A snake named Cora. Mom lived in a burrow with skin so smooth and shiny, and legs so teeny tiny. Go, go, go. Go, go, go. And Mom lived in a car. Go, go, go. Come on, Cora. Boop, boop, boop. Why you so bored? Boop, boop, boop. You can my dreams. Had a fish named Jerry who was found on a ferry, and people said that it could fly, fly, fly. But when I tried, it bubbled and bubbled instead. It was all a lie, lie, lie. Jerry swam in the dam like a dipped in swirl, and he jumped and he bumped. He can give the crowd a fishtail bump. Come on, Jerry, boop, boop, boop. Why you got this so now? Boop, boop, boop. You went for a dip, then did a flip. Boop, boop, boop. A snake named Cora. Mom lived in a bar with skin so smooth and shiny, and legs so teeny tiny. Go, go, go. Coursing. Come on, Cora. Go, go, go. Why you gotta be so bored? Go, go, go. You slowly roll my heels into dust. Go, go, go. And now the song is a bust. Go, go, go. Hey everyone, this is Jeffrey, your live musician. See you all next week. It's back to you, Aiden.
Thank you so much, Jeffrey. You know what, guys? I love Jeffrey's original songs. They always make me want to just sway my body. Sometimes make me want to do a jig, but today was just a casual snapping of the fingers. Absolutely wonderful, Jeffrey. Thank you so much. And actually, we have reached the end of our Youth Connect. If you like Youth Connect, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
And don't forget to click the notification bell.
Other than that, guys, I hope that. Oh, actually, one more news to end it off. Very important for everyone to know. Sadly, we are going to be taking a Youth Connect break, and we will be taking 2 weeks off, which means that you will not have 2 episodes of Youth Connect. I know it's sad, but you know what? We've been working so hard to give you news, and you know what? We might need to take a little bit of a chillax. And you know what, guys? Thank you so much. Again, 2-week break of Youth Connect. But after those two breaks, we will see you again. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Youth Connect. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. And we will see you all next time. Goodbye, guys.
Goodbye.
Bye. Bye.